Hey, what's going on, good people? In this video, we're going to be discussing a woman with a green dress and purple lipstick having the galls to be upset that a man took her to Cheesecake Factory for the first date after she was an hour late for the date. Let's get right into it.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay.
Dumb bitch.
He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
What's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory? I thought the Cheesecake Factory was considered pretty bougie by most women. Maybe she wanted to go to Capitol Grill or something.
Okay. So,
The lipstick, the lashes, it screams Chili's or Applebee's.
Yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
so you expect a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I
At the
went
Cheesecake
into this
Factory?
date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, you know, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
And then,
Cheesecake Factory.
This man right here is a really nice guy, because if this was me, she will be getting out my car and catching an Uber or a Lyft.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least, you know.
What did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like, even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I
yeah,
don't know
and
you
I
yet.
can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
Again,
maybe
I don't
we're not
know
there.
yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself
there's
all made
nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. Well, look at my planner where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there.
As much as women love to say men don't have emotional intelligence, this man is showing top tier emotional intelligence right now.
Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See,
I
I
know you
specifically
didn't.
told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs
I understand.
for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late. And like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment.
And
that is not possible.
And that's why I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to, you know, meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing, which I'm still willing to do. I would have been.
Okay.
But if we're late, I mean, I told you twice.
Late. It wasn't that late.
We literally left your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be. And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot.
I mean,
and waiting for a reservation.
We can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that, like, you know, equivalent to that? I mean,
I literally
you don't understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
There's nothing wrong with
I will die. That's embarrassing.
Listen, as I said, I have very specific certain expectations for date.
No.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other.
Did y'all see the disappointment that just came over her face? You saw how bold and arrogant she was, feminist, but you see, I love this little part right here where you could see where she thought he was gonna say something else.
So, respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm up.
So, you just want to call it a night? I mean, isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
I'm sorry, y'all.
He was out of the parking space.
If I don't feel respected, I am not gonna go through with the rest of the day.
Well, I mean, you are serious. You're really leaving.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean...
And look at her trying to change it up because she knows she's hungry. That's why she being such a little brat, because her big behind hungry. She's probably not that interested in him, but she wanted that meal.
You're serious. You're really leaving.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean, I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure you want to go home?
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
And I gotta give dude some credit. He's actually not a bad looking guy. He looked pretty average. He communicated with her properly. He was respectful. Obviously the guy knew his worth, because most of these simps out here, when they reacted like this, they would have tried to take her to another restaurant just to get her way, just to let her get her way, just so they can try to sleep with her at the end of the night. And you know this is bad for her. She couldn't even get the sisterhood to stand behind her. You're gonna see later on where a lesbian stud came out against her.
I will die.
Please, I beg. Stop making me side with the men. Y'all are really doing it to me these last couple days. If this is your first time seeing me, hello, I am Baslezian, your fairy whore mother. I am a spicy worker and a self-proclaimed gold digger, so let's talk about it. A lot of y'all want to do gold digger tings and don't have gold digger boundaries, or gold digger standards, or gold digger mentality. Y'all think you could watch a couple of clips of She-Ra 7, a little bit of Sprinkle Sprinkle Lady, and think that you know the biz. Y'all clearly don't be listening to her entire videos, because then you go and pull stuff like this. Okay. As your fairy whore mother, let me talk to you. This is from a place of love. There is no reason the location of this date should have been a surprise. If you just cannot fathom the idea of going to Cheesecake Factory, you should have communicated that before this date was set in motion, before you got into his car, before you got all dressed up, before you marked it off in your calendar. I get asked out on a lot of dates, paid and unpaid, and I always ask, where do you want to take me? If it's not somewhere that I want to go, I tell them that. Then I communicate which restaurant I do want to go to. In fact, I have a list, so there's options. There's no excuse. Oh great, that makes it even worse and even more her fault. How unprofessional and disrespectful to show up to a date an hour late. He's sitting down in his car out in the street waiting for you for an hour. I don't get it. Please, people need to stop cosplaying as gold diggers. You don't know how to do it. You're not in character. You don't have the training, the mindset, the gall, the gumption, none of it. Not a single one of it.
But this woman refuses to get out of the car because her date took her to the Cheesecake Factory. The man is extremely polite. You'll see that in just a minute. The thing about it is, he had reservations for a nicer restaurant, an even more upscale restaurant, but she had him waiting on her to get ready for an hour. So they ended up missing the reservation that he had. So he had to scramble at the last minute, and he chose the Cheesecake Factory. I don't think this man is going to have a hard time finding a quality woman at all. Listen to how he even disagreed with her. He was very careful not to interrupt her. He listened to everything that she said. He didn't listen to talk. He listened to understand where she was coming from. He was patient. He came around the door to open the door for her. He waited patiently for an hour, didn't even hold it against her that she made him wait for an hour. Like, girl, this temperament is... Like, he would have found out that she's superficial. I mean, she comes across that way, and she just wants somebody to spend money on her because of how she looks. And she would have found out that he's not the kind of guy that you can treat like a trick, or that you can, who would expect you to be his sugar baby. That he actually wants the person who he spends money on to like him back.
So apparently this chick pulled up with her date to Cheesecake Factory and refused to get out because she's above the Cheesecake Factory. When at all point, all nurses, all healthcare workers have had this for dinner. We've had turkey sandwich. Let my man pull up at Cheesecake. I'm getting an appetizer, an entree, and 2 pieces of cheesecake.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. First of all, when I initially saw this, I just thought it was bad acting. I think she's stupid. That's what I think. I think she's rude. I think she's nasty. I think she's distasteful and disrespectful. I think any of you ladies, if you're following this advice or if this is the way you're conducting yourselves, this is why you're single. This is why men won't text you back. This is why men won't call you back. I think the guy was beyond nice. In the conversation of this video, he basically explains that he was there on time to pick her up and she was over an hour late. If I were him, I would have left. She would have come down to tire marks. Rubber marks on the parking lot is what she would have gotten from me.
I rarely check the girls arbitrarily, but I'm gonna have to do it today. A lot of y'all are getting way too bougie or picky about these first dates, and it's making you quite mean and close-minded. If he asks me to split the bill, I'm paying the whole thing and then I'm blocking him. Of course I'm running up the tab on our first date. I'm seeing if he can actually afford to support me. And I'm all about knowing your worth and not settling for less. I 100% believe in that, and don't ever settle for someone who treats you like less than you deserve. But they don't know you. First dates are supposed to be a time where you get to know each other, see if you connect, not how much money you can spend and if they can support you or if you're too good to go to a place. And y'all's response when they can't meet these monetary standards, again, on someone they don't know that well and don't know if they connect with in a way, is to be kind of cruel. Not only is it really mean, but it's also really elitist. And in this economy, being elitist on a first date is really weird. So if someone suggests Texas Roadhouse or the Cheesecake Factory or Applebee's for some of those Dollaritos, remember that the purpose of a first date is to get to know each other and to have fun, not to pocket watch.
I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
I'm not in the business of humbling women, but this is a perfect example why I will never be 100% a girl's girl. Because some of y'all don't know how to act, okay? Some of y'all have zero home training. This is motherless behavior. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you cannot scream about standards while having no standards for yourself, okay? Work with me here. If you don't have a standard that you hold for yourself about your own behavior, you do not get to enforce standards onto other people. You can't talk about what your standard is while being an hour late to a date. You can't. What are we doing? The entitlement, especially when it's pretty well documented how rough it is for the girlies out in the dating scene right now. And to have women like this out here with all of the entitlement in the world, and I've never been in the business of humbling women. Never. That's not my bag.
We know.
But baby, this man picked you up and waited for you for an hour after communicating with you twice previously. So we got a communicative king, okay? When you put the camera on his face, which is just like, what? He still was like, you know what? Let's talk about it. Emotional intelligence on 10. He didn't shy away. He didn't start popping off. He said, let's talk about it. Just, what? Let's talk about it. He calmly informed you of the changes that were happening. Calmly informed you. He could have been like, whoop.
So I'm sure everybody has seen this video right here about the young lady who was so picky and bougie about going to the Cheesecake Factory on her first date with this polite gentleman right there. Okay? So basically, they're on a first date. He takes her to the Cheesecake Factory. He offers to open the door to let her out, but she doesn't want to get out of the car because she's ashamed about going to the Cheesecake Factory. I need all my TikTok people out there. Find that guy. Ladies want to know who's that guy. TikTok, go find him.
Man, she done ruin this man night. You know what I mean? This man done waited on her an hour to get to the date and get ready. He thinking it's finna go down tonight. He finna smash a little black chick, and she come out and pull this mess. You know what I mean? Don't waste this man whole time. So I think he was mostly the one that was disappointed. But I'm glad he didn't simp, you know, and just be like, hey man, I gotta do what I gotta do just to get in her pants. And it's like, no, you don't, man. You can know your worth, stand up for yourself. Be like, nah, we can cancel this date. I'm glad he didn't just go take her to another restaurant and put her box that she's offering for the night to sleep with him over his self-respect. Like, this man was like, nah, man, you're not gonna play me. And then you up in here recording me? Yeah, he a nice guy, because she would have had to get her, I'ma just say, thick self up out of my truck. It's like, girl, stop it. You not even all that.
Yeah, I love it.
So you just want to call it a night? I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't there some kind of compromise or something?
She talking about is there any type of compromise? The compromise would be me taking you home instead of leaving you behind in that parking lot. Man, she got the right one. I see women even online saying she is doing too much. They totally are disagreeing with what this woman did. This is why men are getting their passports and just simply leaving the country, ladies. These men just want to be with women who will show appreciation just for their efforts, just for the fact that this man tried to take her somewhere and take her somewhere nice. He put some thought into that, and he's putting his money behind it. That's why men are getting their passport, dating women who are just grateful just to have them in their life. And the part that gets up under real men's skin is the fact that we know that Tyrone and Chad ain't got to take you to no restaurant. They can just come through midnight or 12 in the morning twice a week and take you to Pound Town, and that's the end of it. But this man got to wait for you for an hour and then decide to take you to a nice restaurant, and you pull that stunt? Yeah, so good for this man who was aware of his worth and took her behind home. Now, okay, that's all I got for this one. You guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this one. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching to the end. I will see you in the next video.